Welcome to the iNetrepreneur Radio Show. We are so honored to bring you your host, the ultimate celebritypreneur, connecting businesses and celebrities worldwide. Winner of the Networking Organization of the Year, best-selling author, magazine publisher, trainer, and owner and founder of Network Together and the iNetrepreneur Media Network from magazines, TV, and radio network. We're excited to bring you your host, Mr. Robert W. Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a great week so far. Can you believe it? We are, we're more than halfway through March, which also means we're almost through the first quarter of the year. I cannot believe that 2023 is going by so fast. Have you committed yourself to those New Year's resolutions? Are you resolute and stout and resilient on everything you do? And do you love what you've done so far this year? My gosh, I hope so. And if not, please be on this show because I have two amazing women that I cannot wait to get to today. I feel so passionate and I'm in love with both of them. So you just got to stick with us to see who they are. A little bit of around the network house cleaning I want to talk about. Hey everyone, please remember that we have our forthcoming #1 international best-selling book in the series The Art of Connection, 365 Days of Gratitude Quotes. We still have our BOGO offer. BOGO means buy one, get one. I know, BOGO. What a word. I mean, he wants to go BOGO. Well, certainly you do if you want to get 2 pages in the next book. And you can see here, we have the second book, we have the first book, we have the third book, but now we're into our fourth book of the series. And guess what, everyone? We are up for a nomination on Best Holistic Business Book International category. So we are so excited to be in the international category. This book has received over 110 achievements in Amazon. It's seen at Barnes and Noble. We're looking at doing a book tour this year when the fourth book comes out. So we're so excited. But please go to 365daysofgratitudequotes.com. Please, if you're an entrepreneur, speaker, founder, trainer, whatever, please keep getting in books. And this is a great book series to be in. Also, don't forget, find us at ntevents.net. That's ntevents.net, where you can find chapter meetings, academy classes, pop-up events, women's summits, which we have coming up on the 24th, our shows, and the world-famous iNet Connect interview panel sessions, which we feature globally. Also, you can go to Facebook. You can like us there at facebook.com at iNetrepreneur Radio. Yes, it's tough to spell, so that's why I say just find it, spell it once, and bookmark it, because if you bookmark it, you won't have to spell it anymore. Also, you can subscribe to our magazine. We have 2. We have the iNetrepreneur Network magazine, and that features all the cool and wonderful speakers and trainers and facilitators and members of the iNetrepreneur Network. And we also have the contemporarywoman.com. And guess what, everyone? We have a cover. We have a feature cover person who's going to be on the show today, and I cannot wait to talk to her about that. So guess what? I am so excited to bring everyone on the show. So I'm going to bring on our first guest with no further ado. Here she is, Miss Angel Marie Monachelli. How are you, Angel?
Fabulous. And you? I'm
fabulous too.
Awesome. And I know you viewers are ready to rock and roll for this. It is ready to go.
And I just said it right there. Angel, I cannot believe it. We're 4 years in with the iNetrepreneur Network magazine. From Laurel Langmeyer to Brandon Barnum to Craig Darling to, who is it now? Angel Marie Monachelli. You are current magazine cover featured, and it goes out to 42,000 subscribers. And that's certainly more than the people we have in the iNetrepreneur Network. And so we're really blessed to have a great subscriber list for our magazine. And you are on the cover, my dear.
Well, I am so honored to be on the cover, helping people with their clarity in 2023. Like you said, we're almost over with that. But I really feel blessed to be involved with all the other speakers and all the other hosts that have been on before me and will continue. So I'm very honored to be on the cover and being able to share my services with everybody. So thank you so much, Robert and Sean, even though Sean's not here. But we're going to
and it's so much more. You serve, you absolutely do, and you serve in the first place, and that is of the heart. And I love the energy that you bring. Again, everyone, I'm with Angel Marie Monachelli. She's a TV host, 8-time best-selling author. I'd like to think that we're a part of that. She's a professional MC and creator. You have the book with the best-selling badge on it. Thank you.
Yes.
And she's the creator of Angel Marie Inc., not to be confused with the pen. You can contact her at Angel Marie Shines, or call her at 623-334-3393. So, Angel, did I do it right? Are we good?
We are absolutely wonderful. And I'm just honored because I want to say yes. I'm in all three of these books and the fourth one that is going to be coming out. And it does have the emblem that we are the bestseller, #1 international best-selling author. This is huge, people. And we're in the Congress.
The Library of Congress. I call it Thomas Jefferson's Library. That's really what it was. That's how it started out, but we're all there. So I'm excited. They let the rest of us in, so I'm pretty excited on getting there. Absolutely. Angel, I love to bring you on the show. You've been on the show before. We've known each other for a great 6 years. I mean, you have inspired me to do many things that I thought I would never do before. And I have a saying that says, think things that you've never thought, do things you've never done, say things you've never said, and believe in ways that you would never believe. And one of the ways that you've affected me is, that was of Reiki and Reiki sessions. And it's really, really amazing how powerful a Reiki session can be for a person, isn't it?
It really is, because it's really about your energy. It's not about my energy. It's not like I'm giving you energy. And that's what was so enlightening for you, wasn't it? It was just like oh my gosh, I am really that powerful. And I feel that energy. And that's
man. I was like, man, come on now. I mean, I served 6 years in the United States Marine from 83. Oh my gosh, it's that long ago. Holy crap. 83 to 89. But I tell you, when I walked out of there, I mean, I felt like, I had the Jesus or the Moses effect. There was so much energy coming off me. I had to walk out of your house, and I was levitating across that grass. I mean, you were like, Robert, take off those shoes or you're going to have holes in them. I still remember that first session ever. And I thought, boy, if this what feeling good is about, I want more.
Yeah.
I mean it.
Yeah. And you just dove right into it. But the thing is your energy, you are in that place. And Reiki can help in so many ways, from you sleeping to have more clarity, more productive, you can be more successful, more abundance. It just helps in all kinds.
And that's what's so amazing. As an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur. Oh my gosh, I've been an entrepreneur since 1999. I haven't helped. I'm happily unemployable. Believe me, I probably can't even go down to the local Taco Bell and get a job. Believe me, I am so unemployable. But let me tell you something. What's really crazy is when you have energy as an entrepreneur. I mean, you can't be stopped. There's no stopping this guy. But like, one of the things I want to kind of come back to, Angel, is you have like some things that people don't know. So one of the things that they don't know is you are a former softball player.
Yes, I am. Yes, nominated for All-American. Yes,
and speaking of outing you, I want to hear a little bit about this. Hey, this softball playing, because it's one of the things you really don't talk about. But tell us a little bit about your life as an athlete.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you were going to ask that. That's for sure. When I was in high school, I actually played for the softball for varsity my freshman year. And when I went to college, I got a full ride scholarship to Golden West Junior College. And then I got a full ride scholarship to the University of Oklahoma. And little did I know when I went to Oklahoma that the weather would affect me, because coming from Phoenix and California, going to that cold, that would affect. And what it did is it really just, it flared up the lupus, fibromyalgia, arthritis, and Sjogren's. And to deal with that while I was dealing with playing softball, it was very much of a challenge. But yet what happened was I was able to hone in and learn diaphragmatic breathing, because I had an injury. And I actually learned, and that's the first thing that I learned about how to check my energy way back then. and how that all worked out. So I was very blessed, and I played for years and years. And it was only about 5 or 6 years ago that I stopped playing. And I still would love to play because it's just a second.
Well,
Because
and see that's why I wanted to bring it up, because there's so many times that we have certain situations in our life, and a lot of times we don't think, what is the neurological genesis of everything that's come since. We have these amazing gifts that God gives us, because I'm a believer in God, and I'm going to shout that to the mountaintops. I feel like sometimes God is being pushed out of our society, but I want to bring God back. We're being given gifts, and you utilize those gifts to the fullest, but there's challenges, there's uncertainty, there's things that you don't understand, but that's what makes you, isn't it, Angel? That's what kind of started your first step in the path of your transformation, from being someone who's being sickly in Oklahoma trying to play softball on scholarship, right, to being a person who is here saying, if I can change my life, I'm gonna live my life to help you change yours, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And that's what happened. Absolutely. Because it was after that I was so sick, so sick. And I was going down the Western medicine because my mom, my sister, my whole family, aunts, cousins, all have that diagnosis. And I said, I'm not owning this. And
Yeah.
I dove into Reiki and about how to really conduct, control, and manipulate, yes, your energy, because you can never release energy. You can just change the form of it. And that's what we did in the first session with you. You changed your energy and it freaked you out a little bit. I was like, you got to go outside and ground yourself because you're taking off. People, you might not understand that, but I'm always holding space for you. You are safe. He was always safe.
Well, and it always reminds you, like when we talk about the human brain, we say, okay, we use, like, I don't know, 3% or 6.5% or 17.2% or whatever it's, for the week, but that always seems to be fluctuating on how much of the brain we use. But, when you really think about it, it's also that way with energy, isn't it? It's like we really in certain ways have an unlimited amount of energy. And sometimes you may say, well, physical energy may have some limits, but when you're talking about the boundless emotional, psychological, and even spiritual energy that each person has, I mean, you can really tap into something that's almost limitless, right?
Well, and I say it is limitless, your energy. And the way that I explain it is your bones have 65% crystals in it. It's an appetite crystal. They have just come out with this. 65%. So you're vibrating. This is quantum.
Wait, are you saying I'm a diamond, like Crystal? I'm a diamond, right? I'm worth some money.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
really
just
are.
checking. I used to manage a Chanel boutique, so I like the good stuff. So at any rate.
So yeah, so we're really it's quantum physics, the 7 laws of the universe.
Yeah.
This Reiki, we can say Reiki, but really we're talking energy. And you are just vibrating. And how are you showing up? And you might say, oh, I know what she's talking about. I know what she's talking about. Knowing is something different than actually feeling,
Right.
And creating your energy in a different way and put different perspective. And that's what I teach people, is how to look at everything in an energy and then be able to shift it, transform it, not get rid of it, because you can never do that, but transform it, pay attention to it, accept it, identify it, and then go, hey, that doesn't work for me anymore, and be able to understand. And that's with pain too, being in chronic pain all the time that I'm in. Just this morning, someone said, hey, I want you to sit right here. And I said, that's right in the light. And they said, well, what's going to happen? I said, I'll start a migraine. And they're like, oh my gosh, don't. And I said, I can stand for a while. And it started. I removed it within 2 minutes. I teach that. How to transform your body. Oh, I love that. Love this. Love this. Yes. All right.
I know it. Isn't that great? And I'm going to give you something, Angel. When I went to college and master's degree at ASU, I went to undergrad at University of North Texas, Denton, Texas. Go Eagles! Yes. Not too far from Oklahoma in Denton, Texas. I am, I was exercise physiology and sports psychology, and one of the things I always remember is like when it comes to these highly trained, high level professional athletes that I worked with, we really didn't talk as much about heart set as we did of mindset as we did the heart set or the energy. And what I remember working with you is all of a sudden these feelings rushed back into me, because when we were working together, it it made me sit down and think about an entrepreneur, and about being a father, and being a son, and being being a brother, and a Marine, and all these different things. And one of the things I thought to myself was, what, to really have a great mindset, you have to have your heart set first.
Mhm.
you know and
Absolutely.
and you reminded me of that when we were in that energy session doing Reiki. It's like the mind is wonderful, but it only follows the energy of the heart. And if your heart energy is there, your mind will follow and come greatness. And from there, then you work on your skill sets. But they all kind of stem from that same place, don't they?
They really do, and that's my article in the magazine. It's about how you connect your headset to your heart set to your gut set, because the gut set is everything that helps us get inspiration and gets us moving and takes that action. It's really aligning all of those absolutely 100%, because we're emotional beings. And as soon
Yeah.
as emotion hits, we go to flight or flight, and it can stagnate us. That's why it's really connecting. Okay, headset, got it. Heart set, but then also the gut set, all three. And in that article, really depict it, because it's you getting that clarity. Now, you can be an entrepreneur, you can have a 9 to 5, but when you have clarity of your vibrational field, your energy, the state of currency of your field of energy, that's when everything is limitless and you see that you can manifest.
And then all of a sudden, everything that is manifesting around you, you don't see issues anymore, you see opportunities. And you don't see hurdles anymore, you see possibilities. And and I think that's just what it is. So much of what we're inundated all the time is just to make us get this head trash, just to make us get confused, just to make us sit into these channels that stagnate us. But it's like when you sit down and you do the meditation and you do the work and you work on the chakras and you go back to source and you start getting downloads, and all of a sudden it's almost like you're plugging into this whole new universe. But quite frankly, it's just the universe, isn't it?
It really
I
is.
mean,
And you may not, some of you might go, oh, downloads, oh, that seems scary, oh, this or that. But it's not. It's actually taking time to listen to you and be in a place of listening. But then it's, how do you do that? Oh, Angel, I can't do that. Oh, you hear
yeah,
that all the time. And that's why I call myself a meditation expert, because I can help you with just little tiny systems. And what happens is, as Robert is saying, all of a sudden you go, wait, I'm understanding how I am showing up in the universe, how I'm showing up in this day, how I'm showing up as Angel Marie, and how I am perceiving and working with the energy and making the energy help me to be more abundant, to be more successful out of pain. Big one for me
yeah,
is I'm constantly doing, and people will call and say, I can't get this rash off my face. This face, I've been to Mayo Clinic, I've been everywhere, does your stuff help? I really don't know. I can't guarantee. Comes in, he has one session. I mean, you felt it. He has one session. He actually cried through the whole entire section. And then
It-
the day later, he woke up and the rash was gone. I'm like, everything is emotions.
yeah. In that everything is real transformation. And I always have that saying that says, what good is personal development if you're not going to use it, right? Yes.
Yes,
365 days of transformational
you
quotes.
should read
You-
this. I'm telling you, because there's a lot of good stuff in here. Okay.
Oh my God, there is a lot of good stuff in there, because people made every page that was written in there, meaningful in so many ways. And, now, just bringing that up, we've come into this other phase of gratitude. And what's really interesting is I had a class last week for our entrepreneur authors, which are different than entrepreneurs, very different. They're it's like opposite. And when I talked about gratitude, I said in the original formulation of the word gratitude, Angel, it was something that makes both parties better. Gratefulness comes from me serving you and not just from being served. And right. And then when that happens, that the energy for both parties increases, doesn't it?
It does, and that's scientific. That is scientifically proven that vibrational field of me smiling, me being in that kindness, me being in that grateful gratitude because I get to be here today with Robert Jones. I've been excited all day. I get to be here.
Yes.
And that vibrational field, that energy, like I said, quantum physics goes out and people gravitate and they feel this energy. So
Yeah.
But most people will not feel their energy because they go to work, they get too in their head. They're always in their head. Finish this, check mark this off, check mark this. Okay, let's go home and watch TV because now I'm tired.
Yeah.
You're not creating. You're not
renewing, restoring, refreshing. It's all of that. And that's what I found it is different in my life. And quite frankly, when I find that my life is starting to drag, it's because I'm not doing the little things called practice. I'm not doing the things that ground me, that and here's a saying I say, and I totally have learned it through all of our spiritual, business practitioners. And really, we have spiritual business practitioners, and they help the entrepreneurs in our network, and we have 3,500 people worldwide now in this network. But it's our spiritual counselors, our spiritual therapists, so to speak, that help everyone else ground and get that energy, right?
Can I interrupt for a second? Because your organization is different because of that. What you have created is different because it's not just, hey, give me your card, there is connection, but there's also spirituality, but it's not in the box. There's no boxing thing, but it's like, what do you feel? Let's all do this. So I apologize, but I want to say that because if you're looking for a networking group, I get it, because you do need to get out there. You want to do that. I get it. But you want to be with a really heart set one, a headset and a guts, one that comes all together. This is the one for you. I apologize. Go ahead. And you again, you always say.
Well, no, and I appreciate that. So now I have to interrupt your interruption. So I mean, people, who don't know me. I mean, I was very shy when I was young. I was a Marine. I was very tunnel vision in many of the things, and I only saw what I would allow myself to see. And what I found is the universe isn't linear. The universe is actually a beautiful like matrix. It's 3D, it's 4D, it's I don't know how many D's you want to count. And all of a sudden, once I started realizing that, all of a sudden it seemed like once I started working on myself, Angel, it's like that sharpening of the saw. It's like once I started working on myself, all of a sudden, what happened? Things became a little bit easier. And things that would crush me before, were more like, nuance, a nuisance or an inconvenience, but it wasn't the traumatic things that held me back from before. And and as you keep working on it, you start to become your own vaccine of the things that come to you that are bad.
It's so beautiful. Yes. And for over 20 years, being able to do this with spiritual counseling and Reiki has just been awesome. And I love your story because it's what happened. I had to get you outside, grounded.
Get outside. Because I went into computer programming and coding with much of my business life, and what was really happening then is that was actually taking me further and further and further and further from source.
Right
And
here,
and it was in digital technologies. There's something so beautiful to me from that. But if you're living your life at the expense of your life, and you're not taking care of yourself in what I call self-care, because you're letting social media drive you, and you're letting your phone drive you, and it's, you sit on the toilet in the morning and you're doing work, and you go to bed with it facing you doing work, and you're driving in the car and you're working with it, you know that there's no harmony or balance in that. And you can't help but start to, lack the universal fuel that which gives those people have that wow or it factor. What you're doing is you're self-extinguishing it, aren't you?
Absolutely, because your vibrational field, like I said, 65% in your bones is crystal.
Mm.
So you're just an energy. And
Mm.
when you're so serious and also so worried about money, maybe worried about how I'm gonna, why is it, why we stay in that field and it stagnates.
Yeah.
So it's just these little things that can help you. It's so many techniques that you use, and it's practice. And I say practice doesn't make perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Practice helps you become and make a permanent behavior. And that permanent behavior will help you to see life differently, and you'll have more abundance. Every single time.
Wait. You're saying practice creates a permanent behavior?
Practice creates permanent behaviors.
Oh, well, I could see that practice might actually create change, huh?
Oh, big time, great time. And that's when things that I tell people, when they come for counseling, it's like, you're going to have 2 or 3 pieces of paper, that you wrote on and say, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's go do it, because it's going to create permanent behavior. And what happens then is
everyone write this down, okay? Because get your pen and paper, because this is pen and paper time, okay? This is pen and paper time with Angel Marie and Robert Jones. Because right now I'm going to ask Angel, Angel, right now, everyone has their pen and paper, they're ready to write. Give us 3 tips on how we can create more abundance right now. Everyone get ready.
Right now, more abundance, one of the biggest things is put a smile on your face. Why? Because it changes your vibrational field. That smile, and I know you go, oh, Angel. No, it really does. It'll give you better. It'll get you in the moment. The other one is diaphragmic breathing. If you are not diaphragmic breathing, if you're not doing that, you're missing out in the boat, because everybody's in their head about all the stuff going on out there in the world. You're going to flight or flight. You can only get out of flight or flight by diaphragmatic breathing. Go to my YouTube. I have one there. Go. It's amazing.
I don't know what that is, but it sure sounds cool. I like it. Diaphragmic breathing. Give me some.
Diaphragmatic breathing.
I know. I know you did.
You know that. And then the other big one, is your function in life is to have fun. That is the only function we have in this life. So laugh for no reason.
I always say, if you're having fun learning, you're going to learn more. If you're having fun working, you're going to profit more. Just find your place of fun. And, Angel, one of the things that, I used to be a marketing technologist. I've worked for, GoDaddy and Lensco Private Ledger, Realtor.com, a lot of things. And, marketing and getting, firms found was like one of my big thing. And like during COVID for 2 years, the number one request that entrepreneurs had, the word was fun. They're just looking for places where they could meet people, you do business, and have fun. Isn't that incredible?
It is incredible. And that's one thing about iNetrepreneur, to go in virtual or in person, you will have fun. You will have fun. And that fun helps you to smile. It helps you to do the diaphragmatic breaths and to laugh. Remember, your brain can only do one thing at a time. It doesn't know if it's a real laugh or a fake laugh, but that fake laugh, as you laugh, just as we just did, helps every energies in your body. And you cannot be in pain when you're laughing. You can't do 2 things at once.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to keep on smiling. Okay. One last question, because we're getting a little bit closer to the end of the segment here. I know that you teach people so many things, and I love you for that. I really, really do. But many times they say that the teacher, learns as much, if not more, from the students.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what have you learned these past, several years being a Reiki master from your students about yourself?
Thank you. One of the biggest things that I learned about myself is to step more into my power. But power isn't like what I'm saying, step into my power, but stop. And I'm going to say it, stop listening to other people.
Mm.
And we are all hardwired this way, people. We really are. It doesn't matter if you're a Reiki master or not, but years. And just last week, something happened. And it was like, I'm listening to those people. And I had to step back and do what I teach, exactly what I teach. And then I was able to see it. So that's what the biggest one that I can say that I've learned. And that if there's anything, have somebody on your side. Like I can call Robert at any time and say, Robert, can I just go through this and you can talk to me about it? So have somebody on your side because it'll help. So I hope that
Yeah.
helps.
I totally do. And, and I feel like I live that too. One of the things I call it, I have my phone, I have it, my pick up the phone team. And so you're on that kind of like, speed dial to the universe and to pick up the phone team, because if I need a spiritual pick me up, you're there, and I will be there for you. And that is one thing that I have learned in my life more than anything else, is life is meant to live on your terms, but life is not meant to be lived alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
We are
everyone.
hardwired people.
Here I am with one of my besties, Angel Marie Monachelli. Woo! She's a TV host. She's an 8-time best-selling international author. I could have put that on there. She's a professional MZ. She's a Reiki master. She's a spiritual counselor. She's creator of Angel Marie Inc. She'll even let you take off your shoes at her house. Gosh, get that. You can reach her at angelmarieshines.com, or you can call her at 623-334-3393. Any other ways that we can reach you, Angel?
That's the best way, or Facebook Messenger, and I'll get with you and let's do this. Let's understand energy in a different way.
Oh my gosh, I am so with you. I love it. Angel, thank you so much for being on the show today. Thank you for being such a supportive, uberly supportive person in the iNetrepreneur Network, and actually bringing something out that we are very proud of, because we do believe that spirituality is a part of everything and everyone, including entrepreneurs, business owners, and influencers.
Thank you. Thank you, viewers, too, for watching.
Oh my gosh, wow. It's like Angel gets onto the show, and it's always like fire and flames. I mean, Angel, you take me back to my college days when I used to play, when I used to do raves for all the college students. Boy, we had some fun back in the days, and you got me raving now, a raving fan. And I am so excited we have another super duper rock star. Super duper, it's like a 70s saying. Super duper, really? Did I just say? Yes, I absolutely said super duper. We have oh my gosh, Falan Blake, she is on our show. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Can you see that I'm fired up all of a sudden?
Absolutely. I love
Oh
your
my
energy.
goodness. I love your, you know what? And just like Angel Marie said, you are proof in the pudding, Falan. You are Fallen. You are proof in the pudding that smiles bring people to you, don't they?
Yes, I agree.
And there's something about $1 million smile. I'm with Falan Blake. She's a public speaker, Google Ads expert, domestic violence survivor. I mean, in I'm saying that a little bit slowly because I'm a child of that, and founder of Blake International Management LLC. You can contact her at blake@consultwithblake.com or call her at 480-799-3763. I want to thank you for being on the show today. How are you?
I'm great. And you?
I'm doing great. So I got to talk to you before we got onto the show today, and
Okay.
I'll call it stalking. I stalked your LinkedIn profile. I kind of wanted to get a little bit of groove on, like, who is this person? I've never met her before. She's coming on to my show. I'm pretty excited about meeting people at all times, and I started looking at it, and I said, oh my gosh, okay, she's been a Google ad expert. She's been a chef, in the professional leagues of both baseball and football. She's a single mom. She's a domestic, abuse survivor, and then she's an international speaker. She looks great in red, all these things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I already love her. I was like, I really love her, and like I said with Angel, what I love about her is she lives her passion. But what I found in you already is what I love about you is, you live in the space of just being invincible. Again, I'm getting them again. I get those goosebumps because so many people, Fallon, they don't live in that space of being invincible. The world's against them, the family's against them, the school's against them. Bias and is against them, prejudice is against them. The toothbrush is against them. I mean, there's always something out there that creates problems. But somewhere, you just reached out there and you said, this is not who I'm going to be. I am who I am. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to love my life and live it well. Where did you get that from? Was it nature? Was it nurture? How did you come to this place of saying, nothing's going to keep me down, and I'm just going to keep walking into my best self and moving forward, and then inspiring others?
I think it's just a willpower, some type of willingness to succeed regardless of your adversity. For me, a lot of times most people assume that everything is handed to me on a silver platter, but I've eaten gallons of buckets of dirt to get to where I am. And so nothing is handed to me. I've earned everything that I've worked for. So my strength came from being a single mom. I did not want her to go through that. I would have literally died a million deaths so that she never had to face one. So that was
Mm,
my mentality the entire way through. When I decided I wanted to become a mother, it took a while to become a mom. It wasn't something that was, accidental. It was very well thought out and planned. And it didn't happen right away. It wasn't easy for me. And so when she came, it just, I just knew I would fight to the end to make sure that she
yeah.
had a better life. So that's why I just keep going.
And as a mom, like, up to this point in time, if your daughter was to look at you and you were to say, the magic words, what would those words be to her right now?
The magic words is never give up.
Yeah.
Because I think if you want it as bad as my favorite quote is, if you want it as bad as you want to breathe, you'll be successful. And it's from Eric Thomas. He's a worldwide great motivational speaker and someone I aspire to eventually meet. He went through tons of adversity as well. And I feel like when I tell this to my child, I let her know it's how bad you want it. A lot
Hmm.
of people give up before that. They give up right before they make it because they just get tired of the fight. But you have to be that 1% of people that doesn't give up the fight, because you will get there. It's
Yeah.
inevitable. It's about how many times you try. You get knocked down 10 times, you got to stand up 15 times. You just have to be willing to keep going. And I think that is the most important part of it.
When was the first time in your life where you felt, what, I'm a fighter. I know I'm a fighter, and damn it, I'm going to keep on fighting. When did you have your epiphany moment that said, this is what's going to set me apart? Um, you know, I'm I'm Fallon Blake. This is going to set me apart. This is who I am. When was there a magic moment, or did it just kind of lead up over time?
It led up over time, but the moment that you're speaking of, when I realized who the heck I was last
Hmm.
year. I
Oh
got fired.
wow.
I got fired from a job, And I get emotional thinking about it
Oh
because
my gosh.
it's a little bit fresh. And so it's the
Yeah.
reason why I created the company that I have today. And I remember I could feel it. The energy changed. I started getting knocked off of meetings on my calendar, and just people weren't responding to me, weren't talking to me well. And I was like, oh, I could feel it. I just knew.
Ooh.
And so I was trying to reach out to the hiring person, that the CEO that messaged me on Twitter to give me the job. I knew something was up. It was 27 days in, and I just like I knew, I could feel it. But
Yeah.
I I didn't let him fire me. I said, you know what? I am Fallon Blake. You are not about to fire me. No, sir. I fired
Um.
myself. I
Dang.
fired myself.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness, you gave me chills on that one. And I'll tell you why. And oh my gosh, it resonates with me so much, but in a different way when it's like, I'll just say it, the machismo, because I'm Hispanic, or the balls or whatever. You just get them right.
Yes.
And I remember I was making money handles over a fist. I was in the nutraceutical pharmaceutical industry. I was a marketing technologist. I did coding, programming, interface design, for these big companies. And really we were, what I found out is we were cheating people out of money, quite frankly, and we were making
Mhm.
a lot of it. And one day I went in there, and I was like the token tech guy, and they always have a token woman in there, and everyone else was men. And I
Yeah.
remember the CEO, and my audience knows the story, but it's so apt on what you and I probably see. You know, I could see you always being like one of the only females in like your space, but he stood up and he slammed the table and he said, "We need more sick people."
Mm.
And I was just like, I master's degree exercise physiology, programmer, coder, builder, all these things, and all of a sudden I looked up Fallon, I was like, holy crud, I'm living a lie. I am living a lie. I need to change my life because I am not helping people. I am hurting people. And if
Yeah.
I'm a part of something that's so sick as that, then I'm perpetuating a problem that I don't want to be a part of. And I mean, it just brings you to a point of uber clarity, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just knew I had uncovered a lot of unethical practices, and I brought it to their
Yeah.
attention, and they were like, "She's not gonna drink the Kool-Aid, so let's get her out of here." So,
Yeah. It's
but I left on my own terms. I knew that they wanted to fire me the very next day. They planned the
mm,
meeting at like 6 a.m., and I was like, "Good luck," because I'm not showing up. So I went and I got through all of my contacts, went through everything that I was working with, and I just documented everything just in case to cover myself before I left. And I
smart.
walked out of there with my head held high, and I got on Twitter and I went off. I told my network what I was doing and the unethical practices. I listed them. I didn't put them on blast, but I said I'm a freelancer for hire. And I
Wow.
made $5,000 the very next day. Twitter held me up. It's the power of creating a personal brand and creating a social media connection base was really how I was able to leverage that and just being authentic. We always see people posting their wins, but I posted my low moments. I was truthful. And I said,
hmm
hey, I'm a single parent. I am a single mom. I am definitely not going back to a job. I made it clear in my mind that I was never going back to a job. So when you said in the beginning of when we first met today, you're unemployable at this point, so am I. And I know exactly how that feels because I will not allow another person on this earth to dictate how much food I can put in my child's mouth ever
Yeah.
again.
And how much time that you want to spend with that child, and the quality of the walk of your life that you're going to lead her in, and the type of the people that you get to choose to be around and work with, and do partnerships, and that's what I found in my freedom, because so many people, they ask me, Fallon, they're like, why in the heck do you want to be an entrepreneur? It seems like you're working all the time. And it's like, because quite frankly, it doesn't feel like work anymore.
Yeah.
It feels like I have the ability to go out there and save as many people as I possibly can. If and I'm not saving them, someone else, inferior to me is, and I don't want that. And I don't think you want that either, do you?
No, I mean, I want to be able to help people. And that's why I decided to tell my story and just come out with, now that I have some skin in the game, I've been in the business now for a year. I've been doing massive numbers for clients and myself as well. So I feel like I have more to offer and I am able to actually speak from more of experience now to help.
You know, I want to go a little bit back, with our conversation, one of the things that, when I saw this, it touched me a little bit, and that was, a domestic violence survivor, and I go 2 times, two
Yes.
times. But, you went beyond and you didn't keep repeating. And, it's just like if it happens once and then it happens a second time, for many people, quite frankly, they never get out of that cycle if they do it again,
Mhm.
but you did. And that's what makes me so proud and wonderful of you. And see, kids are a part of that too.
Mhm.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
being a kid, with my mom and dad. Here's the crazy thing: I love them both magically. I really do. But together, they didn't work, and it was a very scary, and it was a very like there was a void in life as a child to be in a home where there was no love, and it felt like torture all the time. I mean, you know for you, I don't know if you grew up in a house like that, but being, a part of that, what do you say to the women and even some men who are in those circumstances? What do you say to them to say, that this shouldn't stand? What are ways that they can gain the same strength that you have?
Honestly, I had to look within myself. Why was
Hmm.
I attracting partners that had this type of negative energy towards love? What didn't I love
Yeah.
about myself that I was willing to accept so little bit of someone who would treat me with low value? So I
Hmm.
had to look within. Because I attracted the same energy in two different body forms, I felt that the problem was me. And a lot of times we don't want to take accountability for someone else's actions, but it is us. It's what we're willing to accept. Once you become
Yeah.
clear about what your boundaries are and what you will and will not accept in dating, in relationships, business, and life, then you attract better when you're in a better vibrational energy. And so I really felt like going abstinent for long periods of time was to get to know who I was and what I really wanted and why I was looking at these men to fill what void that I couldn't fill within myself. Why was I looking for other hurt people? Because hurt people hurt
Like
people.
outward even. I mean, you were like, what am I, you're looking for out there, right? I mean, and part of your key was is, but it's already right here, in a way is what you're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, it was within. I didn't love myself. I didn't have boundaries. I didn't have self-respect. And it showed because I was always given so much less than everyone else because people just assumed that I would be given more because of whatever I looked like, whatever my social class, wherever I was around. But I felt low value. I felt it within my spirit. And so once I realized that I had to work on myself, I attracted better men.
Oh wow. I think that that's incredible. Fallon, you've had some very interesting careers. I brought him up a little bit,
Yeah.
earlier. You, a retired, I mean, okay, you're like 24 years old. How can you be retired from anything? Come on now. I mean, come on now. I mean, a retired NFL MLB chef who,
Yeah.
who started a new career. What do you mean by retired? And what was it like when you were working as a chef? And I got to tell you this. When I was in undergrad school, my first degree program was actually hotel restaurant management. So
Oh,
I
wow,
mean,
okay.
I know that environment really, really well. So this is interesting to me.
Yeah, so I was a chef for 20 years, and I started
Wow.
out being an entertainment chef on the military base and when I was stationed in Italy with my ex-husband. So I used to do, like, say for instance, you had a food product and you wanted me to sell said product, I would make videos and make also do cooking demonstrations at the grocery store, promoting that product and selling it at like trade shows like that. But it was at the local grocery store. So you're like the Costco sample people. That was me.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
And
my
yeah,
gosh,
I
that's
had a
great.
buffering phone and I was like, hey, come over here. I'm doing this. And I was made for that. And I always wanted to be on Food Network and I kept auditioning and I was like on YouTube and doing cooking videos with my ex-husband. I was like, I'm gonna be on TV, I'm gonna do it. But it never happens for me. I was so bummed. But I ended up getting on TV to do something completely unrelated to food. But I still did get on television because I do have that vivacious, bright personality, and I'm really good at audience building and drawing
I,
in the couch.
I mean, I could totally see it, and it's just like, and hey, and I could see you with the microphone on, and you like all dressed up, and oh
That
my
was
gosh.
my thing. I loved it. And so all of that
Hmm.
led to getting discovered. People just talked and they just loved my
Yeah,
energy and they loved what I was doing. And I was really forward thinking. Today, people do like product promotion for, they call it like user generated content. They
yeah.
pick up products and they sell it, to the clients. I did that 20 years ago. They're so
I,
late.
I,
I'm OG. I did that years ago. So
oh, I love it.
I was
Yeah,
way ahead of my time. And that's how I kind of got discovered. I started doing private cooking events for NFL players locally. And then that shifted into me working for Major League Baseball opportunities. Oh, it was so fun. Oh,
oh,
it was
yeah.
great.
It's so crazy that you bring that up, because it's like I resonate with that, because when I lived in San Diego, I was bringing my company off the ground. I was a barista. I did catering, so I went to all these different events, and
Yeah.
I did weddings, and then when I worked at Chanel, I was at the Biltmore in Phoenix, and so the NBA players, the Major League Baseball players, the entertainers, we'd put on the events, right,
Hmm.
at Chanel, and we'd do
Yeah.
the walkway and everything, and cater the food with the tray pass and all that. I mean, you are so right. There is just something about really living life, and not to overindulge, but man, damn it, it's okay to indulge now and then. It's okay to feel the taste of success. It's okay to work and be allowed, or to allow yourself to live in those moments, isn't it?
I think so. I love some Chanel. I just bought my first Chanel.
All right, I love it. Good.
So I
You
totally
know.
agree. But yeah, it is. It's life is short, and I feel
Mhm.
like life is too short to not do what the heck you want to do. Go do what
Yeah.
you want to do. I think we put our obligations to family, friends, what society tells us we should be doing. We
Yeah.
put ourselves last, and we should be putting ourselves first. And I think that was something that I learned, you know, more recent in my 30s. I just feel like I really know who I am now.
Yeah, I mean, because like when you're living for everyone else, I mean, you there's no room for
Mhm.
you, is there? I mean, there is none left, and quite frankly, when you live for everything and everyone else, it over time it becomes exhausting.
It does. You feel unfulfilled. You feel bored. You let yourself go. You kind of like, I'm gonna, do the same thing every day, every day. You don't
Yeah,
jump out of bed. You don't spring out of bed because you're not doing what you're meant to do. You're not doing what your sole purpose is. And so becoming an entrepreneur, even though I went in a different direction than what I originally started out as entertainment cooking. I kind of got burnt out after 20 years of trying and trying. I was like, well, maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to
yeah,
do. And so I tried for so long and I retired because of the pandemic. And so I had to learn a new skill. But when I realized that skill still led me to being able to, if I wanted to do that again, I actually could. And I could do it a lot better because now I know marketing and advertising, which is, I didn't have that prior. So I feel
right.
like it all comes full circle. And I'm still young enough to be able to pull that off again if I needed to and wanted to. But I don't have that innate desire and passion that I used to have for it. I want to do other things. So,
And other things that actually take in count to where your lifestyle and where your life is leading you now. And I can't help to think of it. It's because you've begun to know who you are. You're a mom of a wonderful daughter. When you choose, you're in the position of saying, I'm going to choose right for me. I'm going to choose right for my daughter. I'm going to choose right for my future.
Yeah.
and and keep and hold and love the energy, but it really is crazy, because when you talked about being an old G,
Yeah.
I know exactly. I'm like, oh my god, I definitely dig, and I can identify what it's like, being an old G. Okay, I mean, I learned how to program on BASIC, BASIC. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm as old as they get. I mean, the only thing older than that is maybe a punch card, but
Oh,
you
yeah.
know but I remember, I remember the first chats, and I remember the first user generated content, and I remembered, like, oh my gosh, we can call this web 2.0, so
Yeah.
it's but to be a female, I mean, when I was working at Intuit, and I was working on the team, I was with the team that worked on TurboTax. I mean, I might see a woman in our environment like once every, like, I don't know, year.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
were no women anywhere around it, and so that's what's really, that's what really made me feel like you were invincible. To be in that environment, in an environment where there aren't necessarily a lot of women on the inside. They may promote, and they may be, the figureheads or the mouthpieces, the spokesperson, et cetera, on the outside, but very few of them are on the inside of the trenches. But it sounds like you had a little bit of trench time, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm an Afro Latina women founder in tech. I mean, I have a tech company, and so it's essentially very uncommon to see an Afro Latina woman, let alone a woman, as a founder and a sole founder. I'm not even a co-founder. This is all me. Blake International is me, my name, Blake. So it is what it is, And so I had to learn. I learned very, very quickly because I was thrown right into it. And
Yeah.
my transparency to the clients when I first started out, they knew I knew my stuff. They knew I knew what I could do,
Mhm.
and so they trusted me. But like getting the agency to where it is today, actually having contractors work for me to help, take some of the brunt work off of me so I can do more of my thing, really, really took trial and error. I went through hiring wrong. I went a whole year without a website.
Oh.
I had to have one of my lawyer clients write my contract for me because I was using like HoneyBook, and I was, like the standard ones, and it was just I don't know, that wasn't my thing, So
Yeah.
I had to learn a lot. I learned about the money, making too much money too fast and not knowing what to do with it, and getting nervous and having meltdowns and trying to call like my ex is a VP at Bank of America, and I was calling him to like get his help because I was like, I was hyperventilating, and he's like, "Hang on, I'm gonna get to you." But it was just really challenging for me because I really just never knew this life, this side of it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to help people and help the clients really understand their client strategies and their ads and the stuff that Google taught me in training. And I just wanted to share that. And so I really went into it more authentically, and it
Right.
grew by itself. I didn't even scale it. It just went off on its own.
Yeah, and there's a certain amount of fearlessness that goes in it, because I mean, if it, and you have to constantly be in it, and you have to constantly work in it, and you have to constantly, be a part of it, and and then when you grow with it, all of a sudden, it starts to become really a little bit kind of intuitive, doesn't it? And that's what makes you great, is when you're able to work within a system like that, and things that start happening are almost intuitive, and you can kind of keep up a few steps ahead with that, can't you?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
you just got to go with the flow, really. You can't, there's people that can put together certain types of formulas to kind of get you from point A to point Z. That's true. I mean, it does exist. I'm even trying to put together a course as this summer to kind of help people get to their first 10K month, because that is the hardest part. Becoming
Yeah.
a freelancer, trying to get to your first six-figure business, it is literally a nightmare to do, and it's so much overwhelming information. And so I've put together just a little concise way of doing it that worked for me. Everyone's different. Everyone's
Mhm.
scenario is going to be different. And so what works for me doesn't necessarily mean it will work for them, but it'll tell them where to go. And I'm hoping
Yeah.
that they would have enough logic and reasoning to be able to make it work for their business model.
Wow. I I love that. And it is so true because, you know, in our well, I'm not in the business anymore, but I feel still like it's like in our business, right? In our business, you know, I mean, you know, something as a fraction can make an infinite difference between success and failure. I mean, it absolutely can.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's what I've learned about, you know, when you work with tech and when you work with clients, you know, you know, you have to kind of modulate, you know, into them and kind of actually kind of be an avatar of what their wish and expression is into what they're wanting to give, you know, kind of the world. It's like I would create word theory, and I would create labeling, and I would create, I call it like a marketing cocktail. And like you said, everyone's different, you know, because everyone's audience is slightly different, and the way that they onboard into the internet is different, and the way that they need to be placed is different. And see, I mean, for me, what you're saying is like music to my ears because it's so true. And so many times, a lot of the get rich, unsuccessful marketing agency, they have you fill out a form and you put standard information in. They're worried about demographics. And, you know, quite frankly, it's not about demographics, it's about the psychographics, you know, and that's what I believe that you understand better than, you know, most marketing agencies. So everyone, I'm telling you, get with her. See, I'm saying it on the show right now. And another thing that you taught me, Afro-Latina. I love that. Oh my goodness. And
Yeah,
you know,
I'm Nigerian, Portuguese, and Puerto Rican.
oh my God, you know, I love it. And so just so you know, I'm Portuguese, Chinese, and Mexican, and on the other side, I'm Welsh and German.
Oh
So
wow.
so I think I'm gonna call myself a gringo Latino. How's that?
Okay.
You know, and so that's another cool thing. We'll have to do that for another show. Oh my gosh, our segment is already over. So I mean, I got so excited talking with you. I better put your banner back on her. Everyone, I am with Falan Blake. She's a public speaker, Google Ads expert, domestic violence survivor, and founder of Blake International Management LLC. You can contact her at Blake at consultwithblake.com or call her at 480-799-3763. Stamp of approval by Mr. Robert W. Jones. And Falan, thank you so much for being on the show today. I hope you had a great time and I served you well.
Yes, thank you so much.
And is there any other ways that people might be able to find you?
I am heavily on LinkedIn, so definitely reach out there.
All right. Thank you so much again for being on the show, Falan. I enjoyed you very much getting to interview you.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, everyone. That was Falan. Oh my goodness, two great people, Falan Blake, Angel Marie Monachelli. I mean, oh my goodness, get the party streamers out. I got to have both of them back on this show in the future. At any rate, the show's over. We got to go. Just remember that we are here in Arizona time. We're that crazy maverick state. Right now, we sync with the Pacific. So that means we're here 3:30 Arizona time, 4:30 Mountain time, 5:30, 6:30 at any rate. You know, please come see us. We're here each week from 2:30 to 3:30 Arizona time. I know you have places to go and things to do, but you stood and you did it with us, and I want to say thank you for it. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
You've been watching the iEntrepreneur Show, a production of the iEntrepreneur Radio Network, with host Robert W. Jones. Join Robert each week as he visits with new and exciting guests who inspire, teach, and mentor entrepreneurs worldwide. Follow Robert each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and 8:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.